You are obsessed with why. When something goes wrong in your life, when the relationship implodes, when you don't get the job, when the car breaks down on the way to the interview, you don't just feel frustrated, you feel guilty. You immediately start scanning the archives of your behavior. You ask yourself, what did I do to attract this? You think maybe if you had been more positive, maybe if you had visualized harder, maybe if you hadn't been so selfish last Tuesday. You are secretly convinced that the universe is keeping a scorecard, and right now, you are losing. You believe that your pain is a punishment, which implies that deep down, you believe you are bad. You are carrying a crushing weight, the weight of believing that you are the architect of your own misfortune. But I'm going to tell you something that will either break you or set you free. It's not your fault, and it's not a lesson. Sometimes it's just gravity. Let's dissect this pathology. Psychologists have a name for this. It's not karma. It's not the law of attraction. It is a cognitive bias called the just world hypothesis. In the 1960s, a researcher named Melvin Lerner discovered something disturbing about the human brain. He found that we have a desperate biological need to believe the world is fair. We need to believe that good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. Why? Because the alternative is too terrifying to look at. Imagine you are standing in a pitch black room. The floor is covered in trapdoors. At any moment, the ground beneath you could open up and swallow you whole. That is reality. That is the randomness of existence. Now imagine someone hands you a map. The map says, "Don't worry, the trapdoors only open if you step on the cracks." Suddenly, you feel safe. You think, okay, I just have to walk carefully. I just have to be good. If I follow the rules, I won't fall. This is the bargain you have made with the universe. You trade your obedience for safety. You view your life like a vending machine. You put in the coin of hard work or kindness, and you expect the candy bar of success to drop. And when the machine eats your money, when you do everything right and still get cancer, or get fired, or get ghosted, you don't blame the machine. You assume you used the wrong coin. You assume the error is you. And here is the incision. Here is the ugliness of this worldview. If you believe that success is a reward for virtue, then you must also believe that suffering is a punishment for sin. This is why when you see a homeless person, you instinctively look away. You don't look away because you're polite. You look away because your brain is whispering, they must have done something to deserve that. They didn't work hard enough. They made bad choices. You have to believe that, because if they are innocent, if they're just unlucky, then that could happen to you, and that thought is intolerable. This is the cruelty of everything happens for a reason. It's a phrase we use to victim blame ourselves. When you fail, the just world hypothesis turns into a prosecutor. It puts you on the stand. It lists your crimes. You weren't grateful enough. You weren't manifest enough. You didn't want it enough. It strips you of your dignity. It turns every tragedy into a moral failing. You are walking around thinking the universe is your strict father, punishing you for staying out late. But the universe isn't your father. The universe is a chaotic, indifferent engine of physics and probability. It doesn't know your name, and it certainly isn't grading your homework. So, how do we put down this heavy load? We accept the terrifying freedom of randomness. We have to accept that bad things happen to good people all the time, every single day. That sounds bleak, but listen closer. If the bad thing wasn't a punishment, then you don't have to repent. If you didn't lose the job because you weren't positive enough, but because the company had a budget cut, then you are free. You are free from the shame. You can stop trying to decode the tea leaves. You can stop trying to bargain with the sky. The antidote is to stop looking for the reason and start looking for the response. You are not the master of the universe. You are a sailor on an ocean you cannot control. You cannot stop the storm. You cannot pray the storm away. You cannot be a good person so the storm avoids your boat. The storm does not care. But you can adjust the sails. The fact that everything doesn't happen for a reason is the only reason you can be free. It means your pain isn't a sentence. It's just an event. Stop asking what you did to deserve the rain. Just put up an umbrella.